by your thoughts. I now invite HEMAKSHI Diwan of Standard 8 from St. Mary's Convent Senior Secondary School, Udaipur, to present her talk. HEMAKSHI Diwan is participating in this National Peace Convention with her father, mother, and brother.
It is in those very moments when everything looks hopeless that we have a real chance to grow into something better. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, we call a butterfly. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Life never stands still, no matter what we do. Change is the very nature of existence. Our thoughts, feelings, ideas, and beliefs are as changeable as night and day. But as much as change is inevitable, it is not always welcome or easy to deal with. Father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, famously said, "You be the change you want to see in this world." In other words, although life changes are inevitable, we can initiate personal change, rise to the challenge, and become a better person as a result. Every day, we observe anomalies in our society, and somewhere in our busy minds, we do nothing else but keep wishing to see things change and not to make things change. But like the popular saying goes, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. If our society and world at large should get any better, we have to wish less and do more. It is all about creativity and being proactive, not waiting for the next person to do what you have the capacity to do. If one wants to get it right or do it right, someone has got to take that bold step and make the first move. Corruption, child labor and abuse, acts of violence against girls and women, negligence of girl-child education, and subsequent forced marriages are things we see in our everyday lives. People are sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and chains of discrimination. People are living in poverty, still languishing in the corners of the society. We have got to take that bold step and be a light in this dark world, an eye to the blind, an ear to the deaf, a voice to the dumb, and a source of strength to those living in appalling conditions. These anomalies are corrigible only if we are poised to speak out at every given instance. We all have the power to change the world. We can motivate people from being just thinkers and dreamers to doers. If we only give our opinion in this practical world and expect that everything will change accordingly, I believe that will not happen. Until and unless we practice what we preach, no one will listen to us. But we can see history has its own heroes in the men of the type of Alexander the Great, whose fame is measured by the havoc and devastation they caused. But heroism of the type displayed by Gandhiji is without a parallel. A Vaishnav Baniya by birth, Gandhiji is by nature a Brahmin, the teacher of his fellow men, not just by preaching of virtue, but by its practice. It is said that he once swept out the foul hut of a pariah to prove his freedom from arrogance towards and contempt for the untouchable outcast. He has been seen to purify the sanitary convenience of his house with his own hands. Now the question arises, how can you be the change you wish to see in this world? The answer is to take personal responsibility. For example, very often people complain that our roads and rivers are dirty. Heaps of garbage dot the city. People spit, urinate and throw garbage anywhere in the city. Think once, is it the sole responsibility of the local authorities or the concerned governments to keep the city and country clean? No, not at all. before we expect our city and country to be clean, we have to assess our role in it. We have to see how awakened and responsible we are while throwing used water bottles, wrappers, and polybags. If we as a person take care of the environment, the public too will take care of it. We should avoid spitting and urinating in public places and also stop others from doing so. We have to come out of the not in my backyard mindset. We have to quit our safe and comfort zones to start a change, as Afrosha did. He was frustrated with the piles of decomposing wastes that have completely washed up and overwhelmed the city's Warsaw beach. Determined to do something, he started cleaning up the beach himself, one piece of rubbish at a time. That was 2015. Since then, every weekend, Shah has inspired many volunteers to join him. So far, the volunteers have collected tons of trash from the beach. This proved that through personal responsibility, we can elicit, create, and become a change. We all have something to contribute regardless of our age. A student myself, I am placed in a unique position where I am encouraged to be independent, yet scolded for being too daring or possessing a youthful optimism that should not exist. An impenetrable resolution and determination are the only requirements to speak up your mind. So, I have to be determined. I have to change my perspective on things that I consider disgraceful and try to look at them from a positive angle. And today, as a participant in this peace convention, what I have learned is that simply talking about peace will not help. I have to be an agent of peace myself. To see peace in this world, it has to begin with me. Personal transformation is the only way to bring about peace. Mother Teresa also said, there is pretty much something always good in people and things that may not be so good. But you can choose what things to focus on. And if you want improvement, then focusing on the good of people is a useful choice. When you see the good in people, it becomes easier for you to motivate yourself to be of service to them. By being of service to them, by giving them value, you not only make their lives better, but over time, you get what you give. And people you help may feel more inclined to help other people. And in such a way, you can together create an upward spiral of positive change that grows and becomes stronger. Nowadays, it is easier than ever to help people out and start such a spiral. You can do it via social media, a podcast, a channel on YouTube, or you can start a blog. I will be failing in my efforts if I don't mention the name of Padman, Arunachala Muru Ganantham, who even wore a sanitary pad to break a taboo. He was shocked by the fact that women used old rags, sand, leaves, and even ash while they were on periods. He went on a mission to produce low-cost sanitary pads for all girls and women of his country. Similarly, Prakash Amte, with his wife, initiated the change they wanted to see in this world. Miss Aung San Suu Kyi of Myanmar, Miss Wangari Maathai of Africa, and there are many more who have been trendsetters in their respective fields. Shall we say that the odds are too great? Shall we say that the struggle is too hard? Let's not wait for the God to bring change. He expects each one of us to take charge. Each one of us has to become Ram, Krishna, and Gandhi to take charge of now. In the end, I would like to say, instead of cursing the darkness, let us light a candle. Instead of criticizing the government and negative forces, let every action of ours be a reflection of our beliefs. Let us believe that nothing is impossible. The commitment for change has no days off, does not allow for pardons, and does not allow for excuses. Let us rise up with a greater readiness. Let us stand up with a greater determination. Let us move on in these days of challenge and make India what it ought to be. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Himakshi. Your talk has led us to self-assessment. You have reminded us that every change begins